Welcome to Storytimer. Ruth E. Jones. Ruth E. Jones was born on March 11, 1951. She lived near Irvington, Indiana, growing up. That's a suburb of Indianapolis, full of old Victorian homes and history. It's a great place to go on Halloween these days. Ruth graduated from Howe High School in 1970. She lived at home for a few years and worked as a cook and baker for Indianapolis public schools. She had been taking college classes lately and was looking forward to a brighter future for herself. At age 26, Ruth was very excited to be striking out on her own and moving into a studio apartment in a converted garage in southeast Indianapolis. Her new place at 1702 East Bradbury was just a few blocks north of the University of Indianapolis. Like most Americans, Ruth had probably been a fan of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Mary was a career girl living and working in Minneapolis, and she had an apartment that everyone thought was so cool. I know I did. The show ran from 1970 to 1977, and then it was syndicated and continued to air in reruns for years after that. I can imagine Ruth was a fan of Mary and may have been inspired to get out on her own because of that show. November 1st, 1977 was going to be her very first night in her new place. She left her parents' house at 6 a.m. and traveled by bus to her new apartment. She had a sleeping bag with her as her furniture was coming later. She was just going to drop off a few things and then head to work. Just before noon that same day, a man with an old-sounding voice reported finding a body. Ruth was found beaten, strangled, and stabbed in the neck with a fork. She had never made it to work that day. Ruth never even got to spend one night in her new place. If you've read any of my earlier articles, you'll know that the area around Indianapolis in the mid to late 70s had a big murder problem. Pamela Milam, Catherine Kaufman, Terry Joanne Darlington, Ann Harmeyer, Monica Marie Mason, Linda Sue Ferry, Julianne Seafried, and Christine Kovic are just a few of the victims of that crime wave. Police found that Ruth's wallet was missing and theorized that robbery was the motive. I disagree. I think murder was its own motive here. Her clothes were in disarray, but police did not think she had been raped. I think the brutality of the murder shows us a killer who just wants to kill someone. It's not even 7 in the morning, and this guy is this violent. If robbery was the motive, wouldn't he just grab the wallet after overpowering her and leave? Who was this violent? Stephen Timothy Judy was definitely this violent. Danny Rouse was this violent. Jeffrey Lynn Hand was too. But they weren't the only killers out there. I think Ruth might have been followed as she got off the bus. It was just after 6 in the morning. It was November, so it was probably still dark out at that time of the morning. There would not be many people walking on the sidewalks or up and about just yet. Someone spotted her on the bus and followed her. That seems very likely. He would have had the cover of darkness and fewer potential witnesses. I wonder what evidence has been preserved in this case. They said that Ruth fought for her life. Did police take fingernail clippings or scrape under her nails? Her killer's DNA could still be there. Ruth E. Jones was only 26. She was trying to make a life for herself. She was striving, hardworking, and brave. Rest in peace, Ruth.